feed here live Friday night, and we got another advertisement. But this is FSBRacing.com. This is the Winston Cup Aero 88 series. We got 20 plus cars tonight at Tejas. I was cruising in my automobile, and I felt that wild turkey bite. What's up, Greg?
What's up, Milty? Texas. Original Texas. Going back to the game's roots here, Milty, and in the heart of NASCAR as well in the South. So should be a great race, big field. Looking at the qualifying times, Milty, 2/10 of a second, 1 through 18.
Well, this is a professional sim racing league. We got huge points implications here, and all the big players are up to show. A
Yes,
couple
we
cars
do.
that were in practice, Ed Finley and Dan Francisconi, will doesn't look like they will start tonight, but we're still looking at over 20 here.
Yes, we are, Milty, and a quick look at these points here. Um, we can bring them up. Give it a second here for you. And you'll see that there is several tight points battles going on. Of course, Webb and Ed just 7 points apart for the lead, and that's both are here and both expected to do well. Ed starting in the second position, and Webb. Let's see, where did Webb check in at there? 15th. So Webb has some work cut out for him as well, Milty.
Yeah, last week no broadcast, and in that race, Steve Weber was a DNF, and Ed Kerstetter won. That's about as big as a swing as you can make, and he's right back in it. Still, Ken Hansen on the pole tonight,
hmm
only 29 points back. Then you got battles
Yeah,
for the top
basically.
five here.
Yes, we do, and you basically make that 28 points, Milty, because I'm sure we expect Ken to lead lead a lap tonight, and I'll get him a bonus point. But then, yeah, we have Dog and Rick Bisconner, Milty, battling for fourth position, just 3 points out, and then another battle for the sixth and seventh position, and really six, seven, and eight are up for grabs, just 12 points apart.
Yeah, so right now the drivers are testing the limits of pit stops, and Texas is one of those tracks. This is the original Texas that comes with the game, which is a great version of a very difficult pit road entrance, 45 miles an hour. And as we take a look at the banking here, huge speeds with these cars, basically flat out in qualifying, and but they will have to in the draft. They will get a huge uh,
Yeah, though there is
draft here.
drafting's going to play a role here for certain. I usually, in my experience here, with the Pro Cup and Winston Cup races that we've done before, Milty, fuel mileage can certainly play a factor here with the real fine setup done. I believe this is maybe a Matt Watkins tweaked setup from way back, Milty, and it's just a sweet setup.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties with the broadcast right here, trying to figure out. But yeah, definitely Matt Watkins and Ken Hansen and other drivers throughout the years have worked on these setups to make them pro. They're not fast, pushy setups. They're loose, and the drivers were saying pre-driver meeting and in the driver meeting that the setup is really loose the first couple laps, then it comes in and it and it's perfect. So we're going to be watching those first couple laps.
Yeah, we will. That will be the the danger zone of the restarts and starts, the start of this race, and then if there's any restarts, we'll look for that. I think once they do get settled in and you can you can easily do 2x2 racing here without any real worries of any significant contact. So we should have some great racing tonight.
Okay, I restarted my browser again and went through the commercial, and now things are looking pretty good as the field pulls off here. Ken Hansen in
With a
the
great
number 9
effort
car.
here, Milty. Like you said, he's 29 points out of the lead here, and what a statement to say, hey, you know what? There's still races to be won here, and don't forget about me. And he's on the poles. Nice seeing that number 9. You know, Bill Elliott sat on a few poles himself, Milty.
Absolutely. At that time, they were the dominant car with a lot more leeway towards individual ability to make the fastest car. Now it's these days it's very regulated. So and in this league it's regulated. They're all running the same setup, fixed setups, and we got so many friggin' stars here. It's just unbelievable. We got Ken Day in the 91. We got Scott Schroyer has. And the 42 of Gary Piccolo, along with the 25 of Craig Meyer, are in the league now. And they have paint here.
Yeah, and all three. Yeah, I didn't get their paint uploaded. Damn it. All three definitely are threats to win at any track they show up at. Of course, the guys in the front row, as we get this race underway, they're definitely threats to win as well. So. See how this goes. Ed on the outside, Ken on the inside in the 9 car.
Oh boy!
Almost a little contact there, Milty.
Yeah, Ken Shea had to get out of it and allow Pops to gather it up. Very pretty much typical 91 there. He understands the situation.
We're looking through the field here, making sure everyone gets out of 3 and 4 safely. And a little squirrely here and there, but it looks like we're off to a good start, Milty. 9 car has assumed the lead. Ed has fallen into second. Here we get a look at the 42 car. Gary Piccolo, 07 to Ken Hansen, and the 86 car, Mark Dillon Jr., top 5.
Well, Ed Kerstetter has, since his arrival, has dominated. Somebody asked me the other day, do you think he gets bored? And I'm like, no. Winning is not boring, but also he doesn't win every race. So obviously for him to race here, he finds the competition in engaging.
Absolutely. And, when he was in the FSB division, which is our entry level to the league division, Milty, he was very dominant and rightly so with the experience that he has, and you can see some of that experience in action right now as these top 5, Milty, are really nose to tail here.
Typically happens, especially on the first start. A lot of guys are taking it real careful, and sometimes you lose a gap. It's not really that important right now. Later in the race on restarts, just like we watch in real racing, there you have to be more on the ball.
You can see that there's been about a 1.5 second gap opened up amongst this top 5 to the rest of the field, Milty. And for such an early part of the run here at Texas,
Brian Johnson off the wall, and he gathers it up, but Scott Schroyer in the 00 will get down low. Craig Meyer looking too. Looks like Ryan's going to have to give that. Car got tight coming out, that 59 Pontiac.
Yeah, that can happen here, Milty. You got the wheel turned left and the car keeps going right. And you can see now some of that damage can come into play now and make the car push even more. So he's going to have to survive to this first pit stop and maybe see if he can get some attention.
Wasn't a super hard lick, so he should, but there is damage on that passenger side, definitely.
And then we see the 91 of Ken Shea, 99 of Pops, 00, and the 25 car all in this second pack. And as you see, it's now over 2.5 seconds, Milty. Um, that's pretty significant here at Texas.
Steve Weber in the third pack, which the other cars are catching him. They're losing time. They're not drafting together like the first two packs. They're going to go backwards and backwards.
We see
I
some.
don't. Knowing his thought process, though, he understands how to win a championship and what he wants to do, and he's not really going to change what he does in the position that he's in because he's losing points. That won't help him. What he needs to do is finish good at the end here. So right now, Steve's probably just chilling, but he is out of the top 10 in 13th place.
And we see we do have a change for the lead. Ed has assumed the lead. Ken has dropped back to now fifth spot of this pack, and he's kind of fallen off the pace of the top four. And let's see if he can hold on to them. But now we have maybe another move for the lead here with the 42 car. Gary Piccolo looking for his first lead of the race.
Well, the Blazing Pedals charity race for St. John's Hospital, Craig Meyer was the winner, and Piccolo ran well, as well as some of our other league drivers.
Ryan Tracy had a pretty solid run in there, Milty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's contact, and Ed's hard into the wall. Oh my! And now cars are scattering, and Johnson clobbers
Slow down,
him.
slow down, come on. Oh boy!
Wow!
Palmer takes the high line there. Good spotter recognition.
Wow! There. And things happen in a hurry here, Milty. And
so I guess Ed's not too bored because he don't win every race, and you never know what's going to happen.
Wow. The car is
take a look at that.
Certainly worse for wear. Yeah, let's take a quick look at that. Boy, those things happen fast, Milty.
Yeah, looks like
see that the 42 car on the inside, Ed on the outside looked innocent.
I think Ed was thinking he was going to go down lower, that he gave him enough room, but Gary was already committed to that line.
Yeah.
And then he pushed up just a hair.
Yeah.
And Ed was still racing hard there. I think that's just a racing incident there.
The 59 car just cold.
Oh, he's on fire. Come on.
Him.
Come on, Ed, get out of there. We need you, Team FSB. That thing is on fire. Going back to the pits. Well, he needs to stay in this and try to recoup what he can.
Yeah, we'll see.
If he doesn't burn to death here.
He's in the pits now, and the smoke has cleared. The crew has extinguished any flames, and let's see what happens here. But man, talk about, like you were just talking about Webb, Milty, about what he knows he needs to do is finish the race. And then certainly this is a major factor as we see the 42 car coming into the pit.
Look, I'm just watching that lick again. Holy cow. Ryan Johnson, whammo. That was a text from the boss there. It looks like he's watching the broadcast. So hi to Jim Ray. And boy, we had fun last night testing the Blancpain Series and iRacing. Porsche versus BMW.
And we have chaos in the pits. The 24 and 98 have got together on pit lane. Let's see what Sammy can do here. He's stopped here on the grass. Can he get himself righted? Ed's still in the pits. Now Sammy's backing up, and now he'll get back out. Of course, this is happening under caution, Milty, so no panic by the veteran there.
23 cars. Pit road is full. And
that was, the 42 car overshot his pits coming in, and then there was contact. Ed continues to get attention to his car. There was still
that thing's on fire.
A lot of smoke
look at the fire coming out of that thing. Get out of there, son.
And now it looks like with a puff of smoke, Ed has unfortunately had to retire that car, Milty.
Well, it happened to Webb last week. That's Racing for a championship, that's professional sim racing. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a tough break there. It's not showing Ed out of the race right now. It's showing him one lap down. Ryan Johnson, of course, with that hard hit onto Ed, has retired. The car was in no shape. But this is interesting. Usually it would show Ed either as retired or with a reason behind it, but nothing's showing so far. As we rejoin the field here, Milty, see the 9 of Ken Hansen has assumed the lead. Lap 13 of 134, so still a
this
hell of a
this is
long.
what he needed, you know. He's only 20.
Oh, this is
now
just what the
28
doctor
points.
ordered for Ken Hansen. He's led a lap. He's got a bonus point. He's going to pick up points on Ed, no matter what Ed does coming back into this race if he can. It's still showing Ed one lap down. I don't know if there's a scoring glitch here. Now it's showing him 2 laps down, but not out of the race, Milty.
Yeah, but we do not see Ed.
No, we don't.
Well, maybe if Ed is hanging around, we can get him to come up in the booth. Let me take a quick jaunt down to Team FSB and see what he's up to here.
And that's I'm sure that was a shock to Ed that he got turned there. As Milty said, what it looked like there was I think Ed thought that Gary was going to be a little lower on the track. And as Milty said, as Gary went into the turn, he pushed up ever so slightly, it looked like. And Ed was right there, coming sort of down from his second groove into the turn there, and that's where they met. And unfortunately, when that happens, the outside guy takes the brunt of it, and certainly Ed took the brunt of that one. We're working lap 14 of 134 here at FSBRacing.com. Glad you can join us. Friday nights, Winston Cup, Aero 88 mod. We're getting ready to go green again here at Texas. Ken Hansen in the 9 car is our leader. 07 Ken Saska, 91 Ken Shea, 2 and 3, and away we go again. Looks like Ken Hansen may be blinking ever so slightly there as well. Keep an eye on that as he pulls out to a slight lead there over the 07 and 91. 00 right there as well. And there's the 191 of Mike Sanders making an appearance all of a sudden. Mike Sanders coming up into the top 5.
Well, as Ed Kerstetter is going to be on here live with us as he rejoins the game, he is done. Sam, Team FSB, just having problems. Sammy had no throttle. I'm having some computer problems too. You never know how computers work, you know.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot sometimes, I'll tell you. Right now we're having another battle here as the 00 and 91. Little side-by-side action. Ken Shea way up into the gray there, where you really don't want to be this early in a run. It can be very loose up there. But he handles it like the skilled driver he is. But the 00 does get around him. Now Mike Sanders trying that line, and he's going to get underneath the 91 as well. And so maybe is the 62 of Sean Reed.
Well, Ken Shea he was pretty much more of a spent a lot of time running short track, and you have to be real aggressive there. I think when you watch a career of a driver, Ken Shea is has evolved, kind of like I had to compared to back in the day when our league was not pro still all the way through like it is now. I mean, you have to learn how to really race, and I think Ken Shea has just expanded his horizons.
Yeah, totally agree, Milty.
As
And
far as chilling when he has to, and then using that speed and skill that he has when it counts.
yeah, and that's what we saw on display 2 weeks ago as well, Milty. Very impressive drive by Ken Shea. And speaking of the word impressive, Milty, that's the number 6 car right behind Ken Shea.
Yeah, win. And he's such a nice guy. You can't hate him for it. He always races clean. He'll finish second if that's the best he can do. Interesting. Have not been out of town this week except having to drive. So at nights I've been watching, FSB live and stuff, and watching these wins here. And Ed and the 6 had a little contact at the end of a race, but it was just a little, and they were both sitting there talking like, about 6 inches, 4 inches, the skill level is so incredible. Ed was off like 4 inches, and the 6 got a little bit loose, and they still didn't wreck each other. And mutual respect with these pro drivers here. I mean, that's the way the league rolls, or that's it.
Yeah, and as you're talking here, Milty, this top 6, 7 cars here are really got the pedal down. They're in line. They're going fast. There's a little bumper-to-bumper action there on the 0 and 07. Loosened them up. That's a classic. That's a classic passing move in old school Winston Cup racing right there, Milty.
Well, there's another driver. The 07 of Ken Soska is blossoming every week and getting better and better. Great competition. Forces guys to do more than they think they could do, and at least speaking personal experience, and just from looking at the outside in, and then of course back in P4 is just the class guy, the 191, and Michael,
the 191
sponsoring
Mr.
events,
Mile
trophies, and he is Mr. Mile and a Half, and he knows how to put the pedal to the metal on these tracks.
Yeah, he does. Milty, these quad ovals and tri-oval type 1.5 miles are his bread and butter. And when you look at a schedule, Milty, if that's your bread and butter, you feel pretty good if you're points racing.
Absolutely. Sean Reap, he missed Tuesday night. Points implications for him, and so him and his teammate Jim Sharp, Pinky, are in a battle for that championship. But right now he's in a battle as they are.
Right now the
Ken
07, he got a little out of shape there, Milty, and now look at the Shark just pounce though.
Whoa.
And the 191 shoots by him. Now the 62 and 07
Reed got close.
Woo, yeah, and the 91 and the 6, and now the 54 Bill Yarborough joins the party. And that's some veterans lined up there, Milty, the 91, the 6, and the 54.
We always know what Bill Yarborough's about, which is top 5 finishes, and clean racing and victories. So he knows how to get to the front.
And in the distance, but looks like he might be catching this pack, Milty. And that's the 151 of Guy Petra.
Yeah, Guy, excellent racer. And we're going to say again, Sportsman Cup champion, not pro.
And
because we did get that wrong a few hundred times. So
and he's driving his Shelby like he stole it.
Yeah, and he has a real one too. So, and he drives that very well. So then we look at the top 10. Craig Meyer, like we said, your winner in the Blazing Panels pay to race deal there. The St. Jude's charity race. Very neat deal those guys do. They do have a different philosophy on their league, but we're still kind of like a sister league. Our guys race there. They understand what the rules are there, and when they come here, they understand how our rules are, and it's pretty much that's it.
And the behind the scenes stuff, Milty, that You know, a lot of people, a lot of guys that just show up and race. You know, as long as their game works, that's all they, you know, that's their concern. But a lot of behind the scenes stuff between the leagues and sharing of information and what works, what doesn't work, broadcasting, all these
Yeah, with
things.
the Justice Brothers,
Yeah, a lot of
really are good friends with this league. They watch the
absolutely.
broadcasts, and we watch theirs. And Steve Weber has got a trying to get into the top 10, but once again, he's lost some draft there. He's got Pops with him, but Pops ain't interested. Well, actually, no, he hasn't lost the draft. He is up to the 25 there, so this is a better scenario for him, but he's got Pops hounding there, and in my experience, Pops likes to run fast early. You might want to let him by and then try to deal with him later, because with cold tires, he's one of the best.
Hey, fellas, mind if I join you?
Hey Ed, yeah, why don't you join us, Ed? I'm gonna step away momentarily, Milty. So you two, I'm gonna leave it on the leaders here. We got a great battle, and I'll be back in just about 30 seconds.
Oh, we've seen huge plumes of fire out of your car. It just was not your night. Just like it was with the 83 the week before. We didn't broadcast that race, so huge point implications here. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it took me a while to get out of that charred fire suit. No, just some tight racing there. I probably there's such an advantage being out front in the draft. It kind of loosens the car up, and you kind of save the right front a little bit more. And I was trying to stay in front of the 42, and just probably just should have let him by and dropped to the back. But I was trying to stay up in front there, and that ended up doing me in.
So, what was your plan in the race? Fuel strategy, tire saving. Have you still been in the race? Looking at this scenario we're looking at now, what would you do?
Yeah, it looks like they're going for a long green flag run. So I think fuel was close at the start of the race. You get about 30 to 33 laps on a tank. So I think with that first caution, they're probably okay if it goes green. I don't think anybody can really stretch it much further than anybody else. But tires are big here. They've already dropped off about a half second since the start of this green flag run, and they're going to drop off even more. So definitely tire strategy is should be a big concern to the drivers.
Well, being my teammate, I eavesdrop a lot in races like Pro Cup and stuff with you and the great Rick Johnson working together. That's a heck of a tandem right there. Huge knowledge between you guys. And you generally go different strategies, and sometimes it's bit you, and sometimes you kind of commit to something. And it just shows, as great of a driver as you are, you still sometimes make the wrong choice,
Thanks. Yeah, more wrong choices of late than right ones. But yeah, racing against Rick is always learning a bunch about racing with Rick. Got me on fuel strategy at Chicagoland a couple weeks ago. And I think I got him back last week, so yeah, a lot of fun, learning a lot.
So we're looking at the leader now. Michael Sanders powers his way to the front there, and we know he runs good slow. Ken Shea looking down low.
Oh, he's in the grass.
Shea is off, and he saves it, and he wrecks. Oh, he tried to save it. That Scott Schroyer was the innocent victim there, but Ken Shea was just grabbing wheel there. Huge damage for the 91 car in the rear.
Oh yeah, he backed it in the wall pretty good. Almost saved it. Almost did a little Earnhardt pass in the grass.
Yeah, that was crazy right there. Perfect timing.
Caution is out.
Yeah, the 91 car, severe damage to the rear of the car. Let's take another quick look back at that and see what happened.
Well, you can see he tried to make the move coming out of turn 4 and realized he was gaining too much. Didn't want to wreck Mike Sanders. He had such a huge run, so he turned the car down try to avoid contact, and when you're right on the edge there, you get loose, and he was all the way opposite walk, left, right.
Yeah, there was just, it looked like ever so maybe slight contact, but as he came back across the track, just a slight tap on the 00, and that's all she wrote.
So Ed, we're obviously at lap 38. We're in the fuel window now. If we're thinking 34 is our magic number, or somewhere around there, what exactly number were you looking at from your cockpit?
Yeah, at the start of the race, it was about 33, and so it was probably with the draft and the high speeds, probably 31 to 33, depending on how good they could save.
Okay.
So it'll be close. Let's see, lap 38. 96 laps from the end. So that's 32 laps a run. So it could actually be pretty close now if it goes green the rest of the way.
And we see the entire field coming into pit lane here. Great shot looking down pit lane. The 9 of Ken Hansen all the way at the bottom. There we see the 6 of Mark DeSenza. And Ken just looks like he nicked him out with that preferred pit stall. And there's contact between the 25 and 99 as Pops pulled out and looked like maybe stalled out there. And the 25 had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it looks like Pops had to really gas it to get around the 42, and then the 25, just no time to react.
And there we see the 00 coming out after getting some attention, and the 86. I don't know if Mark might have been caught up in that as well, but certainly slow out of pit lane there for Mark as well.
Well, we talked to Sammy. It looks like he had to wait because he's a lap down. Still has a good car. Did not have complete throttle. Been struggling with calibration issues the whole season. Just really hurting his chances. What he can really show, what he could do.
Yeah, oh, certainly. This is another Sammy type track too. The high side, if a full fuel run, generally what you see is, you get starting right down at the bottom, going around the corners, and then as the fuel and the tires wear, running that high line, and that's where Sammy shines. One lap down, he can certainly get the lap back.
Ed, Dog chose to stay out here and take P1. We had quite a few laps on these tires. He's going to get ate up, huh?
Yeah, I'd imagine he'll probably pit this time, just get a point for leading the lap. He wouldn't last very long. I think they were running a good half-second slower a lap before that yellow. So I'm guessing he's coming in.
Cool. I'll be right back. Sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, FSBRacing.com, and Stallman's at Bear Creek.
Looks like the 108's coming into pit, which will put Ken Hansen in the 9 out front, and Mark DeSenza, who I believe started close to dead last, didn't he? Didn't he, Greg?
Right. I think he started like 17th or so, so very close.
17th to 2nd in about 40 laps, and probably 10 of those under yellow, so good patient run up to the front by Mark.
Yes, it has been, and also a good run up following him is the 54 car of Bill Yarbrough. He's also started toward the back there. I don't believe he qualified, so both him and DeSenza have navigated their way into a nice spot now for the rest of this race.
Yeah, those two seem to always do that. Race in, race out. Sometimes if they don't qualify well, they'll drop back, and then you won't see them for 10, 15, 20, 30 laps, and then always at the end though, their numbers pop up toward the top of the leaderboard. So really good, consistent drivers, both of them.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, our leader there, the 9 of Ken Hansen, Ed, is gonna take a bite out of those points. Especially the way he's running here, a win would have some serious points implications.
Yeah, that's for sure. How far back is he from Steve?
I think he's 29 points out of the lead. He's led a lap, so we'll put him 28 points out.
28, yep.
Yeah, good day for him if things stay as they are.
Yeah, and there we see the 98 Sam Young on the inside, and he got a
Green,
great
green.
start. And as Milty said, Sammy's car looks to be in fine running order. Just had some, we'll call them computer gremlins, not racing-related gremlins. And if he gets that worked out, I think he could probably stay ahead of Ken Hansen here and get his lap back should the yellow come out.
Well, these guys also know, Ed, that this is his plan. He's going to drive it balls out, and if the caution comes out, they're probably just going to let him have it.
Yeah, for sure. And Sammy, you're right. He's gonna drive as hard as he can until that yellow comes out, and just kind of pray that it does. Because in about 10 or 15 laps, driving real hard out front, he's probably gonna get eaten up. So he has a limited window here to make it work.
Absolutely, and if it's not working, if you could tuck in right behind, let's say, the leader, sometimes that will work for you as well. But this field is fast, and it's going to be very difficult. As you see Ken Hansen getting a little itchy behind him now.
Well, he knows he needs the W here. He needs to make that points up. He wants to win a championship, and we've seen how he qualified today beating Ed for P1. That he's serious about this, and but he always races clean too, and he's cognizant of the moment, and the moment right now is that he's got. You got to feel your competition. He knows he's got the 6 behind him. 6 is going to do the same thing. Bill's going to do the same thing. So he's really not too worried. Unless he makes a mistake, then they'll pounce on him. But right now, I don't know. Sammy's kind of un-Sammy-like a little bit here. He's not pulling away. But with the draft, I don't think it's awful hard to just yank out a couple laps.
Yeah, it is, and we can really see them stacking up behind Sammy right now. This is going to be really interesting. If Ken does get a wheel on him, Milty, do you see Sam backing out and giving way to this pack?
Well, Sam Young, best lap, which was...
it was like a 29.4.
29.4, and we look behind, and we see Ken Hansen, 29.4, so, and last lap 29.6. They're pretty much going. It's not, even though he's stacking up, it's not really stacking up. It's the draft, I think.
Yeah, this track races a lot like Talladega.
And this is what I was thinking, that Mark DeSenza is going to make his move here, and they're 3 wide. Sammy on the high side gave him plenty of racing room. And Mark's going to take that lead away from Ken Hansen. And now Sean Reep in the 62 car making a big move. Sammy loose on the outside.
He's in the marbles up there, trying to let everybody by. He gave it a couple laps and said, you know what, these guys are racing for position. I had my chance, and I'll have another chance because I'm still no lucky dog here. So, but I'm still the best car a lap down. The only car a lap down, so at this point, so I'll get another shot.
Yeah,
and that's what I would
shot.
do too.
Just keep your equipment clean now, and you'll get your other shot at it. The 6, the 9, and the 62 now are 1, 2, 3. 07 to Ken Soska, 54 Bill Yarbrough round out the top 5, and then there comes Steve Weber, Milty.
Yes, very patient. He is, he's just such a neat guy, sit there this week, we just sat and bullshitted, and he was showing me pictures of his motorcycle, and Mark Dillon Jr. was in there, and they were talking bikes, and just neat fellowship of the league. Yeah, it's competition, but and we can see Saska is trying to take the draft, and Bill is getting down with him there, but they can't make the run on Reap.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Sean holding off 2 cars charging at him on the inside. He kept his cool there, drove his line and powered out of that turn very nicely and held him off. And Ken and Bill were basically forced just to fall back in line now.
Ed, you were in the FSB Cup racing these guys. You did your whole deal, and you decided to go, or you were invited, or to run Pro Cup. You could have won the championship. You might even still be in like the top 5 because how you dominated there. But you pretty much sacrificed and just said, okay, I got a chance to run pro, so I'm going to do it there. But you've raced against 62. This guy's pretty good.
Yeah, Sean's always been quick. Races real clean, and doing the same here tonight.
Yeah.
Did we keep track of when we pitted here and when we went green?
We got
here?
some smoke on the track here. Caution is out. And it looks like the 63 car might have had some issues there. And I also see that Mike Sanders' car looks a little worse for wear, Milty.
Let's take a look at that.
Oh, and the 63 car got it way out of shape and in hard into the 191. Ken Shea also involved in that.
Bonnie Lindbergh from Possum Hollow.
Yeah, it looked
kids, grandkids, all take a look at his racing. The whole team is really cool.
Yeah, and there we see what happened, Milty, is Monty got a little stuck in the grass there. As he came out of 4, he was a little out of shape trying to get underneath the 68 car at Chet Barkin, and the car got just a little out of shape onto the grass, and then
he killed them guys. But just like the last accident, you know, they're drivers, so they're in the grass, they get loose, they're trying to save it. Obviously, he did not want to come up in the track there, but once you got a 3,500-pound sim car going sideways, there's not too much downforce.
Yeah, these things are really on edge. Like the Aero car, this mod has limited rear downforce, let's say, due to the small rear spoiler. So even, I didn't race many laps, but even going into turn 1 and 3, if you arced it too much, you felt the car wanting to turn around too. So I can definitely see where these guys get a little too much wheel in it, and that back end just steps out, and they're along for the ride.
Yeah, especially if you're that inside car making the pass there, coming out of 4, Ed, and you got to put a little more wheel in it than you would normally do just driving the car. That's where we've seen some trouble. We see everyone in and out of pit lane.
54. That's 70 laps to go. That's right on the 80 laps to go. 80, yeah.
Yep, 80.
So that's not in the fuel window now. Well, with a big field Friday night, you really can't be too concerned with that. You can't go to fuel saving. Ed, if it wasn't a fuel saving window, you're into the last run. Do you have a lot of experience with clutching? Would you do that?
Not really here. Yeah, you could definitely do the clutch. But tracks like Texas, where you're, really just minutely lifting off the throttle, except for the, maybe the very end of the fuel run, you're very limited in what you can save. Tracks like Chicagoland and some of the smaller 1/2 miles where there's a lot of tire wear, you could definitely save a lot more. But you're in the gas so much here, even toward the end of the fuel run, that any fuel savings would be pretty minimal, I guess.
Well, yeah, which would make this part of the run under yellow the crucial part where the clutching could save you maybe a gallon of gas while you're circling, and you can use that gallon to your benefit later on.
Yeah, definitely. Clutching under the yellow as well as clutching, being in fourth gear, you can definitely save some fuel riding around under yellow.
And we see, recapping our running order here, we're on lap 55. Ken Hansen is our leader, 6 car Mark DeSenza in second, 62 third, 07 Ken Saska, 54 Bill Yarbrough, top 5.
Yeah, that timing of that yellow was kind of bad for Sammy. If he had another, 5 laps earlier or so, he could have been the prime spot for to get waved around. But he'll have another shot at it here for sure. Maybe he learned a thing during the last stint, and hopefully he'll be able to hold it out front a little bit longer this time.
Yeah, he started out fairly good. He had a little gap there with him, but like you said, Ed, the cars just lining up behind Ken Hansen. It was just a train coming, and eventually they rooted him out of there, and came about 5 laps too late for him. So he'll give it another go here as the lights are off on the pace car. So we're about to get underway again.
Well, the thing is, as we all know, is how far do you push that first run, that first couple laps? How much can you, how much speed can you get and still save tires? And how that changes from run to run, whether it's the game, a bad set of tires, does the game do that, or is it just, the driver just running a couple laps too hard when you've got such a tight field that knows how to save their stuff,
Yeah, you can get caught up in a 2-car battle, Milty, without even realizing it, and then 5 laps go by, and you're still killing yourself trying to get around one car, and that's where the tire wear really will play a role. As Sammy gets off to another good start, and he'll take that position in front of the leader. So again, Sammy in the, we'll call it tail end of the lead lap now. 62 car getting a little loose there, had to chase it all the way down, looked like onto the flat part of the track there, but he was able to do it. Ken Saska, I think, got around him though. And cold tires, it's a little dicey to drive the car really hard right now, and we've seen a few cars a little out of shape there.
Rick Bisconner, last week he was in the points chase, and now he's looking in, he missed a race, so that really hurt him. In fact, I think he missed a couple races maybe, but he's kind of in 17th, leading the damage crew behind him of the 2 Possum Hollow guys and Mark Dillon Jr.
And the 07 there of Ken Saska looked like he was going to take a look on the inside of Mark DeSenza. Looks like maybe he thought better of it. Sammy's still in front of these guys, and looks like he's off the wall now, trying to give way, it looks like, and they'll get by him now.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for Sammy. Definitely right side damage after that hit, and that's just going to make him push and tear up that right front tire even more than before.
And he's got to be
back
careful
here, going
here.
back to Dog with Pinky, and the damage 191 is still pretty fast, but lap times, the last lap 29.8, that's 4/10 off his best lap. That's a pretty good draft crew there, but got some damaged pieces there.
Yeah, we do. See Ken Hansen now, got around Sammy, put him back a lap down, 9, 6, and 07, 1, 2, and 3. Sean Reap in 4th, right there. And now the 42 and 54 are joining this front pack along with the 25 car.
Chet Barkin having track issues to load up on the Race LM, the platform that we use to load to the servers. Last minute there, but he is in the top 10. This is a great run for Chet.
Oh, and the 62 and the 6 side by side.
Yeah,
that was really close.
And the 07 was able to get around Mark DeSenza. So interesting run so far. Mark DeSenza losing a position early on to the 07 and the 62 and challenging him, but Mark said only one, please, and slammed the door on the 62.
Scott Schroyer had damage, was in that early wreck. He's still battling Steve Weber, the points leader, for 8th place.
And the car does look quite well, Milty, so maybe he was able to avoid any legitimate damage, and the crew did a great job, it looks like, fixing that car up. He's up to race speed right now.
Looks like the 86 is either pitting, it looks like he's pitting here.
Yeah, the 86 looks like to be off the pace there. The 9 of Ken Hansen continues to be our leader on lap 64 of 134. So we're closing in on the halfway point here. Ken Hansen driving a great race so far, guys.
Absolutely. We just really don't think of Ken as being a dominant driver. Oh, boy. These guys are really close
Some
here.
slicing and dicing going on behind him, which he probably loves seeing.
But that's because he races so clean. You don't really, very rarely do you see him wreck somebody. So.
And there we see the 62 and 6 side by side again. So the 6 car, I don't know, Milty, did he get a bad, like you were just saying, it looks like maybe Mark got a bad set of tires here.
Well, I think we're so used to his dominant performances, we forget the skill level in the league, and each track is different. It's just not a repeat of last week.
And the 62!
Oh! 62 gets loose. He's going to have to get out of it. But,
and
boy, drift up.
Oh!
I don't think you could have fit a piece of paper beside him there.
Oh, my goodness. How did they not wreck?
Wow.
There's the momentum to take the 6 by here. Hopefully he'll be able to pull down in front of him. And that's tough side by side. You really have to trust the guy underneath you.
And Mark
wow.
That's some great racing there by both of them.
Yep.
Mark DeSenza, though, fighting back for that 3rd position.
Well, he was all dependent on what the 62 did. 62 got loose, saved it. Then he was on the inside line, a bad angle into the corner. But he was cognizant of getting off the gas right there, even though he still drifted up. Mark was committed to the corner there. There's nothing he could do. If he drove himself up in the marbles, then he would wreck himself. So he is on a mission here as he's taking a look at Ken Saska and
very unmarked DeSenza-like. Seeing him make moves like this in the middle of the race, I think he probably knows that he needs to get out in front in order to save those tires.
Yeah, he's been in some very intense battles, which we're not used to seeing. We're used to seeing Mark DeSenza just go around someone and continue on.
Well, you can see that the 9 with that hair on the nose, his fastest lap is a whole 10th slower than Mark's. As Mark's moved through the field, I don't see which lap Mark got his fastest lap, but bottom line is Ken can run those 29 4s, 5s, 7s, 8s in front and still defend as long as he keeps that line. He's running a great line, down low, just really smooth, and this is exactly what he needs, but we got a long way to go. We're just past the halfway point here.
Yeah, Mark knows that he needs to get by the 9 to get the clean air on his nose, but it's so tough because once you get behind a guy, you're able to draft up on him on the straights, but it's so hard to make a move without burning off your tires, so you can only really try to fight hard for 2 or 3 laps. If you do any more, then you start burning that right front out, and then you have to completely back out of it. So we'll see if he's able to make a move here in the next couple laps to get around him.
So basically, what that is, Ed, is you're gaining distance on the straightaway, but you have to lift earlier to make sure that you don't overdrive your car while you're in the back of the car that's in front.
Yeah, it seemed like even with that too, not just not to hit him, but you're in the dirty air behind him, so you don't get that downforce on the front. So when I was behind a car at the front at the beginning of the race, I really had to turn the wheel much harder to even stay with the car, not even gain. Whereas out front, the car behind you took the air off your spoiler and actually loosened you up to the corner, so you'd be going the same speed, but you wouldn't be scrubbing the tires as much.
Just looks like it's DNF here for the 86 of Mark Dillon Jr., your Pony Express broadcaster. Hey, Mark, what's up? How's tough luck for you tonight? Definitely.
Yeah, how's it going, gentlemen? Shorter race than I had hoped for, but we'll try again next week.
Seemed like you were struggling with, like Ed was saying, with downforce on the nose, and then of course you got caught up in that wreck that you had nothing to do with. That's sim racing though, and so we pack up the hauler and move on to the next race. So
yeah, after that wreck, I couldn't go over 150 miles an hour, so I just parked it and got out of everybody's way.
So your teammate there, Sean, is looking pretty good, but he has fallen back a little bit. He was really battling these leaders, trying to get to the front here, but as Ed was talking, that following another car, when you make moves, eventually it starts to wear your tires out.
It does, and this is also a very low-line oriented track. As you saw, the 07 get shuffled back a little bit, and then Sean got a couple cars underneath him, and that forced him to get shuffled back. The low line is definitely where you want to be.
And we see the top three able to get a little separation from the 42 car in fourth. As this run continues, this is maybe our longest run now. Lap 78 of 134. When does it shift to pit stops?
Kevin, late 85, 86, 87. I think that would be around 30 laps. I think we started with 54, I believe, or 50.
Yeah. We had like 76 or so to go, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so they're within about 10 laps, probably, of green flag pit stops.
Greg Meyer in the 25 has just quietly, slowly edged his way up. Ed, I've watched you since you've been in the league. When you start in the back, this is how you do it, and position yourself at the end. You don't just, take over the world. You do it step by step, piece by piece, car by car, and very impressive with the 25 Folgers car of Craig Meyer.
Here we see a battle between 191 and the 108 there in this second pack, which is about 9 seconds off the lead. But Dog and Mike Sanders going at it tooth and nail as they navigate the 24 car. These leaders here in this front group, as you said, Milty, there's a 25 car slowly making its way to the front, now in fifth. In that old Folgers car, if I can remember, didn't
Jim Richmond?
Yeah, or didn't Kenny Schrader also? Yeah, Kenny Schrader. Yeah. I remember riding in that Folgers car, Milty.
Well, Kenny Schrader likes Budweiser, the king of beer, so me and him have definitely something in common. Except that he raced for real and we do not.
Yeah, I think Kenny Schrader never met a beer he didn't like, Milton.
Absolutely. Ken Soska here, he's got a handful of your teammate, Mark, the 62. You know this guy, what's his thought process here?
You know, Sean is very patient. He really believes that he makes up a lot of his time on green flag pit stops. So don't be surprised if they make it to green flag stops and he gains a positioner.
Yeah, we see him there. We'll check him in the running order here. 7th place, just a $1.72 off the lead, so he's holding his own, kind of staying in line. That's what you got to do now to keep up the pace. As this tire wear comes into play, that draft becomes even more important.
Well, we'd love to see green flag stop, and this place is pretty difficult. Ed, take us through what it's like to pit at Texas here. What do you use as a? First of all, do you drive in cockpit, or what's your driving view?
Yeah, driving cockpit.
Yeah, like me. So you look at something on the wall to give you a reference point.
Yeah, usually either billboard or wall. I think in practice here, there was the light just before pit entry. Was what I was using right by where it says Texas on the wall, or right after where it says Texas in that waste management sign. So that's what I was using as a marker.
Yeah, that's pretty much those visual acuities.
Well, guys,
or what you look at.
We've arrived at lap 85.
Oh, we got chatter on the scanner.
86,
86 is pitting.
Yeah, I was about to say pit stop should begin. And we'll keep an eye on the leaders here and see which is the first leader to blink. Will it be the 9 of Ken Hansen? It looks like he's diving down,
83.
Milton.
Your leader on pit road.
Yeah, and
hey,
the
this
9 of
is
Ken
the deal
Hansen
right here.
is on pit lane. He's slowing down.
Ken Soska. Nice. Get it. Oh, Soska in the grass a little. That could be a drive-through penalty right there, as he had 2 tires over into the grass there. You don't get this in iRacing, not yet. This is still, you got to do the whole deal here at FSB Racing with NASCAR 2003.
Yeah, and we
Pumps with a quick stop.
And now pit stops begin in earnest as cars coming in. 62's in, 07's in, Ken Hansen's in. He should be coming out shortly. We should be seeing the 6 car of Mark Senza, the 54 car coming in.
The 00 bounced off a couple walls and retired.
Oh, see, there it is. That's how difficult it is. The stress, the pressure of knowing how good these guys are. You can get out of your game. You have to execute. And oh boy, here we go.
Watching the 6 car come out, and there's Bill Yarbrough, and Bill Yarbrough with a great stop gets out ahead of him. And now we're going to see where they rejoin this race.
And the 42 and the 25 are the last 2 to stop. They're coming in on lap 89, so it looks like they made it about 32 laps on a tank of fuel. 1 lap more than most other guys.
And they were right on the edge there, huh? Yeah, I was watching that too. That was excellent.
Yeah, it'll be close with the 42. He came in a little hot. Hopefully he was able to get it woed down.
Yeah, hey, I'll take a look at that while you guys cover. I'll see what his speed was as he crossed the line here. We're going backwards.
Watching Ken Hansen get back up to speed. Right now the 42 car is still showing in the lead, but I'm sure that's going to change when we cycle back around.
That'll be close. 42 got a really good pit exit. Doesn't look like he'll be able to hold it with Bill Yarbrough and Mark DeSenza going around on the outside.
He was 51 miles an hour over the start-finish line, or over the pit line. Now, we all know how the game works. Different tracks, you can blast that and get into your first sector pit road is split into sector lines, and
Wow, and
looks
Bill
like
Yarbrough goes for a ride, and we got a wreck.
oh, that's going to change everything.
Wow.
It looks like maybe the 63 was racing hard to stay on. I don't know if that was a lead lap or what, and looks like they just got together on the back stretch.
Yeah,
we'll
tough
take
luck
another look
for
at that.
Bill.
Yeah, he was running
Again.
extremely well. Let's take a look here. As Bill was coming around the 63 car, I don't know if there was contact or if he just got loose. Let's see here. Yeah, and it looked like the 63 got loose on the outside and came into the 54 car, Milty.
And it looks like he has exited out, considering that two incidents in his mind anyway.
Yeah, it looks like
probably true.
63 got a little loose and contact was made. And unfortunately for Bill, another wrong place, wrong time situation for him.
Interesting, you know, the shot to Bill's right-hand side forced his car to the left. He automatically corrected, but in these big stock cars at that speed, just turn the wheel, like Ed was saying earlier, where you're following somebody or whatever and you overturn, you know, you have to crank that wheel, then it creates oversteer, and the car is uncontrollable. He really had no, I'm sure he was fighting it behind the wheel there, but tough luck for Bill, and I'm sure that's not what Monty wanted to do. He races clean all the time, but it's racing.
So it looks like the only car to come in and, or
I'll be back.
only one of the lead cars to come in and take tires is the 25. Everybody else seemed to stay out.
Well, let's see, and let's do some math. We got 34, and A was at 42.
Yeah, everybody's still gonna have to pit.
Yeah, so I think that's what everyone was thinking. Now the 25 might be trying to play a little strategy. We'll see.
Yeah, this is when the bigger fields really come into play. You know, when you have 10 or 12 guys, it's an easier decision. You'll have a lot more guys come in and take tires because it's a lot less of a risk. But you know, once you get up to 16 to 20 cars, the 25 went from, I believe, 5th all the way back to one of the last cars on the lead lap. So he's going to drop back to probably 15th, so about 10 spots.
All right, and 10 spots to make up under green flag is not as easy, especially here at Texas, as we've seen. It's not the easiest place to pass if the guy in front is maintaining that proper line.
Yeah, he's really got to hope that people stay bunched together on the front pack so he doesn't lose too much time. He's in a better spot, though. He does have fresher tires than everybody else in front of him, which do mean a lot here. And then, you know, maybe it puts him in a better strategy to take 2 tires, or maybe, you know, have a can instead of taking a can and a half and save some time on pit road.
And there we take a look at the 25 car there, right ahead of Chet.
Man, it's a good race.
Checking position. 25 car looks to be in 11th, but I think that's just as he was going into that pit stop. I think that's going to correct back to about.
This shows 8th place now.
As we cross the line here, we should get the full reset of the running order.
Oh, Ed, real quick here. Inquiring minds want to know. There's a few guys, including you, that watch the broadcast on your phone while you race. We find some of us find that interesting because we can't concentrate on one thing at a time. Why do you do that, and does it help you in the race, and why?
Hopefully you guys don't find me for having a car in the cockpit like Mr. Brad Keselowski, or phone in the cockpit. But yeah, I don't really listen to it during the race. It definitely is too confusing. But as soon as that yellow comes out, flip off one of the earphones and and just take a listen, see what other people are doing, stuff I can't see from the cockpit. So it's almost like having another set of eyes out there, or a spotter, right, telling you what other people did. So you have a better idea who took tires, or who's the fastest car, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you're not the only guy that does that, but I surmised that, but I don't know if my brain can handle it. But thank you for that great explanation. Pretty cool.
It looks like Guy Petra peeled out of 7th place and pitted.
Yes, he did, and that's another interesting move. But again, maybe
Too far for fuel.
Yeah. Guy, maybe that Ford Cobra's got another. Maybe he's gonna put some gas in his pockets, Milty, and carry it with him.
Maybe he's got he's got Carol Shelby up there in heaven.
Looking over him, yeah.
All you need is some Z-Max. I put it in every one of my cars. If I didn't tell you that, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be sitting here telling you that. My dad knew him, and he was a big fella, about 6'5", 6'6", and he was an imposing guy. You wrecked one of his cars, and you might get your ass beat.
Away we go again. The 6 car is our leader. 07 Ken Soska in second, Ken Hansen third.
How about that? What a great drive for Kenny. Man, come on, son.
Now we see the 83, the 62, and the 99 trying to get around Sammy. Still stuck 1 lap down.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't get a good start there, or maybe he moved over to let the leaders by, but he's fallen in behind the 83 of Steve Weber, who's in 5th.
And these are really the first laps, I think, of the race for Mark DeCenza out front. The 07, though, not letting him get away. Neither is the 9 or the 42.
Well, you got the same thing that Ed was talking about, though, especially when the 6 gets out front. And Ed has a lot of experience with this, because they are always seem in Pro Cup to find themselves at the front. Folks, you ever get a chance, get in this league, and this is great racing, great league, and great strategy, but it's on now here.
Now, looking back here now at the 25, who we were discussing, Craig Meyer, he's back. He's up to 9th now, Ed. So is he going to need to run the car any harder, or would that kind of cancel out why he went in to get tires in the first place?
Yeah, he certainly has to be patient, or else he'll just wear off that new rubber trying to get around people, and he'll be in the same boat or a worse boat than everybody else in front of him. So I think he's just got to do what he did at the beginning of the race and slowly start making his way up through. He doesn't have to be very aggressive right now because he still has a draft of the lead pack. He just needs to slowly work his way up in front of this 63 car, so that once people's tires start falling off, he still has that lead pack in his sights.
And as we go back up to the front here, the 6 and the 07, nose to tail. Ken Hansen still in third. 42 car of Scott Stroyer is hanging in fourth. And like you said, Milty, involved in a very early incident there. It looks like the crew did a great job getting that car back up to speed.
Well, Mark Dillon Jr., your teammate there is looking at the 5 here. He's going to do what he does, which is patience, or is he starting to feel a sense of urgency here?
I actually think he's backed off a little bit. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there on the restart, him and the Sam got together just a little bit, and so I think Sean has backed off a little bit. And he's just gathering it back up, and he'll get back in it.
And there's some side-by-side action with the 25 of Craig Meyer getting around the 191 of Mike Sanders, who had some earlier damage, but that stacked them up in the 68, 54, and everyone else is all over the back bumper now of the 191 car. There's Sean and Pops battle. Looked like Pops might have tried to have a wheel underneath him there, but Sean held him off.
Ken Henson now has a fight on his hands, but he gets by the 07. Once again, it seems like the trend here is the 07 is better than everybody but the leader on restarts, but then later on he falls, he gets tight or something and loses position.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe the 98 car has come to life with Sammy now running in the 4th spot of the running order. Of course, he's a lap down, but he's really made up some ground on Mark DeCenza, that's for sure.
We know Sammy's life story, and Sammy never gives up, and he's a courageous guy. And I know this is just a game, but at the same time, he executes that throughout his life.
Absolutely, it's a mindset, Milty, and Mark DeCenza has that same mindset, and that's I'm going to go out front, I'm going to lead the most laps, and I'm going to win the race, and you're not going to have anything to say about it.
Great stuff here, guys. Well, when you're in the cockpit here, Mark, I feel adrenaline. Like when I run GTP races, my feet shake, and it used to happen to me in stock car racing when I was probably more competitive, But last couple of races, it hasn't happened. The King of the Hill happened to me a couple times, especially when I had a shot at actually winning the thing. What's that like? You get crazy. You play this game, and all of a sudden you're so fired up you can't believe it.
True, definitely true. My first win here in FSB racing was in the truck season in the spring at Homestead, and I remember after that win, I was shaking for a good 5-10 minutes, even after the race was over. It was just so much adrenaline going on.
Yeah, absolutely. For us guys that have to get directions to Victory Circle to someone like Ed, who has to scrape the checkered paint off of his cars or in Victory Circle so much.
I'm sorry. This is slowed down a little bit, but yeah, go ahead.
So does winning get old, Ed?
Oh no, not at all.
Agreed. The thing is, if I never won a race again, I would still want to compete, and I'm okay with that. And I just love the fellowship, and there's a whole package to sim racing, friendships, real life. It's pretty magical, and now Mark pulls out a little bit there. For a minute there, it looked like he got had to get out of turn 4 there. But they've got to catch him here.
Yeah,
they got the draft.
The 42 car looking really good. He rooted Ken Hansen out of that second position, Milty, and Ken had a drop back also behind Sammy, whose car is just exploded into life here. And I think Sammy's really saying this is a now or never for him. He can get somehow around these two. Maybe he can salvage this race, but that remains to be seen. But the 6 and 42 now are going to have something to say with each other.
And the 25 car has worked his way back up to 6th place.
Yeah, that guy's good, man.
Yeah, let's take a look at this second pack here. Steve Webb are leading the second pack.
Ed, you're the 98. All of a sudden now you've got your chance here. If the caution comes out, these guys will probably let you back as long as you're at the right part of the track. This is very complicated stuff right here, but this is your only chance, no?
Yeah, definitely. I think the closer you are to that leader, the better the chance he'll let you go. And you don't. I made the mistake once of checking up big time to let some people go and caused a huge pile up too. So I'm sure both those guys want to let him go, but they also want to make sure they don't involve anybody else while letting him go, as well as not ruin their race. So yeah, it's definitely go time for Sammy. I think he probably has newer tires than these guys because he was a lap down. He was able to pit and then start on the inside up by the leaders. So it's definitely his time to charge hard, get around these guys, and hope for a yellow.
And look at this racing in the second pack here. The 62, the 54, 83, 108, they're all going at it tooth and nail. Ken Shea still battling with that damaged ride valiantly amongst these cars, and the 25 trying to pull away from him and somehow run down these few leaders. He's got his work cut out for him, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's the trouble with all these.
And Sammy trying to work that outside line.
Sammy on the outside there. We call him outside Sammy. He likes that line, and he makes it work just like the great Damien Godzilla used to, and the great Danny Falcon back in the day at FSB Racing.
He's still got that, and if you look at what the 6 was doing too, the 6 is trying to keep those guys side by side so he can pull out even further. So he's going to draft with whoever's. Yep, he's going to draft with whoever is further away to try to keep them side by side as long as possible.
Yeah, and Sammy did get looked like he got a nose on the 42, but the 42 card will not be denied right now, and this has really helped Ken Hansen get back in the mix as well.
Yep. And this is good news for that second pack back there. If they can get organized, the front runners are definitely running slower now. So it's a good chance for that second pack to gain some ground on the first.
So, when are they going to pit?
Yeah, we also got to talk about pit stops here. Let's bring up we got about, 21 laps remaining.
I think about 10 more laps, you'll see him hit pit road.
Yeah, it looks like, what do we restart with about 40 to go? A little 38, 39?
Something like that, yeah. And now the 25 car is he in the catbird seat with possible 2-tire change here?
Him and Guy Petra.
2 tires,
got to do it if you're the 25, don't you?
But you're still going to be half a second slower, no?
2-tire, I didn't have a chance to try it out. It definitely is going to be a little bit slower, but it all depends. If the 25 can take 2 tires and get him that lead pack, he'll at least have a chance being in the draft.
Pops is on pit road.
So we got some lead lap cars now deciding to make their final stops. We're looking at the second pack there. We see Guy Petra kind of in the middle of this second pack. 25 still leading it, but still there's a very large gap.
About 2.5 seconds, it looks like.
About 2.5 seconds. Seems like it might be closing a little. But here we see the top 3 now, all in order. 6, the 42, and the 9. And Sammy riding shotgun on them.
Well, these guys, a couple of these guys came in together at the same time. Gary Piccolo and
Mark is hitting.
Oh!
And almost contact. Wow.
We look at the scanner, and Mark did not signal pit in there.
Wow, that could have been a disaster with the 42. Really paid the price.
It looked like he did very early, though. He has a message up there, but he probably didn't when he was crossing the start-finish line. This is good news, though, for that second pack. If you saw, hey, those guys lost a lot of time.
My bad.
He may want to pit now and try to make up some of that time if he's good at entry and exit on pit road.
Yeah, and Ken Hansen looked like made a great entrance there to pit lane, and he brought the 54 and the 108 with him. Ken Hansen with a great entry in the pit lane as long as he wasn't speeding there.
And this is tough now in the driver's seat. If you're the 25, you have to weigh, okay, if I take 2 tires, how much time am I gonna save by doing that? And then you have to make sure that you're not losing more time being on older tires than you'd gain by taking 2 tires, so that you come out in that lead draft. Because if he doesn't, there's no way he's catching that lead draft.
And there's a 42 car, Gary Piccolo. He's on pit lane now, and he might be having to get his heartbeat back to normal.
Ken Hansen right over the line at 46, which pit road speed's 45, so he's on the brakes. That should be no harm, no foul there. Mm-hmm. Actually, a little conservative, even though it looked pretty gnarly. His entry was great, but he got that thing woke down to 46. That's incredible.
And now the 25 has assumed the lead here, so he is staying out.
looking at the
No
lap times, he's
signal.
losing about a whole second a lap, though. He's running 30.6 and 7s by himself, so he has to pit within the next lap or two if he's planning on taking 2 tires even to make sure he keeps that draft.
Watching the scanner, there is nothing yet.
Yeah, nothing yet. He's going to continue to lead. He's got about a 2.5 second lead on the 23 car. Obviously, we know things are going to change as soon as the final pit stops are made. The question is, how can he stretch this out?
Yeah, he's definitely not saving fuel now, though. He's 30.7s without a draft on worn tires. It's pretty much wide open, I'm guessing.
And he continues to stay out. He is increasing his lead over the other 2 cars of 43 and 23 who have stayed out. But as Ed was saying, he's certainly losing time now to the cars that pitted.
Yeah, now it almost changes to maybe he's trying to stay out in order to keep those guys a lap down. There's only 3 cars in the lead lap now, so if there's a yellow within the next few laps, he'll come in, get tires, come out, and he'll jump from wherever he was in 5th all the way up to probably 1st or 2nd. But it's certainly a gamble.
He's got to pit within the next couple laps, though, because he's run about 30 laps.
Yep.
Green flag stops here. Obviously, Craig Meyer wants this thing to go green to the end, and then at the end, he'll have better tires. FSBRacing.com.
We're closing in on 10 to go now when Craig crosses the line here. So the die is cast for him. He's made his bed now.
He may even be thinking just a splash of fuel or a half can as well.
Right.
Maybe no tires
Absolutely.
at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's hoping the 43 and 23 fall off the pace here, and then he would be the only car on basically the lead lap, and then the splash and go would be a great strategy, I think.
Oh, no, he's coming to the pits right now.
Right? Wow. So that must have been it. The crew must have been screaming at him.
What's he gonna do here? He's
in.
Let's
We're
take
gonna
a
follow
look.
him down. So
if he wants to stay with the front draft, his only option is doing a splash of fuel. Because I think he stayed out about 10 laps longer, so he's about 10 seconds further behind at a minimum.
And we'll watch him as he comes in. Nope. He's
Oh,
getting
wide on
outside
the
tires.
stall there. Lucky they pitted him there.
He's down. He's away. So he did adjust his fuel for maybe just a splash or half can. And here come the leaders. And this is not going to look like it's going to work for him, Ed.
What's the 43 gonna do here? He's still gonna stop, no?
43 and 23 are on pit road now.
Bubba on pit road.
And,
So yeah, 25 looked like he came out about maybe 6-7 seconds behind that lead draft, or what will be the lead draft.
Pinky gets by. They're side by side there. That was their only option, really. They had to hope for a caution right there.
Yeah.
You got to race to win. You got to play to win the game.
When we come back around this time, let's reset our running order. It looks like our 42 will be our leader. The 6-car Mark DeSenza in second. And there's a 9-car Ken Hansen in third. So
oh boy, Ed, you don't want that guy behind you, no?
No, you don't. The longer the run gets, the better he gets. So you see, he's really arcing it in the corners there,
really
trying to get a really good run off, and he's closing that gap.
He is just not. He knows how to do this. Scott Schroyer is defending low.
That's scary.
So, that's what he kind of has to do. But then he pushes up. Mark will look, but like Ed said, Mark will continue that. And he looks down low.
He shot out to the inside, and let's see if he can make this stick.
He's so good.
42 gives him room, and the 6-car gets around him.
It's not
42, no crossover there. Yeah, we'll see with that draft. A little slip up by the 6. He doesn't. He rarely slips up, but a little slip up could let the 42 back on by on the inside.
We were saying before you got in here when you were racing how you guys had a little bit of contact in the Pro Cup race, but still just inches. And of course you didn't wreck him, and you were satisfied with P2, which was
Caution is out.
class. Oh my
And
gosh!
we have a caution out. The 62 car looks like had an incident here, and with 4 laps left, I don't know if we're.
This could be it.
Yep. I don't think we'll go back green. That would be the move of the race, just 2 laps before.
And the 62 and 191 had contact side by side going into the turn. 62 on the outside again, got the worst of it.
Field slowing for the pace car.
So this is a little stressful though for the drivers too. Around, okay, are we going to go back green, right? Because if I stay out and we go back green and people behind me pit, you're a sitting duck. But you know, typically 4 laps is kind of safe to where they won't go back green. But other tracks it sometimes can.
Yeah,
so it's definitely stressful. Make sure those lights go out with 2 to go, or don't go out with 2 to go.
And we'll stay with our leaders here and keep an eye on the pace car, keep an eye on the pace car lights. If we get the 1 to go and the lights stay on, then we know that it'll basically be an official race.
What a great show here. Regardless, of course, we want to see the battle for the lead at the end, but this is racing, and caution comes out. And when you're in the lead, you want to see that. Everybody else, no. Well, when we look at the points, Steve Weber was out of the top 10 before that last sequence, and now he's in the top 10. He needs every one of those points to gain on Ed.
I think Steve should pit here. Just retire the car. There's no reason for him to stay out.
Absolutely, obviously. We'll send him a radio transmission and let him know that that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, Monsoon Motorsports radios might not be receiving that transmission. So we'll keep an eye here on the most important car right now, Milty. That's the pace car.
Well, what a fantastic race. What great green flag racing. 2 green flag stops. Wow. FSBRacing.com. That's what you get. A fine run for the 42 either way. Him and Craig Meyer and 00 have been accepted into the league. They got paints, and you have to earn that. Sportsmanship-based racing. You can be a fast stud, but you also got to be a cool guy, or you won't make it here. And here they are.
And it looks like the lights stay on in the pace car with 2 to go, so that about seals the deal for the 6 of Mark DeSenza.
Yeah, it appears so. Of course, in this game, you can have a green and white flag start. .151 bounces off the inside wall down the back straight there. I don't know if he thought the race was over or not. It's not over yet, guy.
Yeah, he's goofy. That's why we love him. A lot of entertainment from the 151 and the drivers' meeting. The officials had to put the kibosh on that, you know. That's a joke, of course.
And we got 2 to go right now as we make our way back down the D-shaped, quad-shaped front stretch.
Well, this is what Ken Hansen needed. He would have rather won the race, but what a fantastic
stay
run
on.
for him.
So this race is going to be official. Mark DeSenza is going to be your winner.
Unless he
Gary
runs out of
Piccolo
gas.
will finish second, unless they didn't put any gas into that thing. The 9-car Ken Hansen, though, is going to be a very good beneficiary of some points, Milty, with a third-place finish and leading laps. So he'll get a bonus point and third-place finish points. Steve Weber looks like will lock in the 7th position. So Ken Hansen will gain on both Ed and Webb.
Yeah, exactly what they're looking for, and you never know. And you don't know where the nose goes till the door's closed. So we got races ahead, and you got to run the races to see what happens. Well, I'm going to step away for a minute, and then they come back, and we'll drag these guys up here. Unofficial yet, so let's see if they cross the line. I'll be back.
I don't know if the 151 is going to make it across the line, bouncing off all those walls.
Yeah, it might blow up the engine before it crosses the start-finish line there.
He must be mad at his crew for something. Going to make him pound out all the dents in the sheet metal.
Really putting a hurting on that Shelby Cobra. I don't think Carroll would appreciate that. And that's it, folks. You see the checkered flag out on the flag stand. Mark DeSenza is your winner. Kind of an anticlimactic finish to a very exciting run there right before that caution came out.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was definitely shaping up to be a very exciting finish. But I think the fastest car, I think, won. So it ended up working out pretty good for Mark. Getting all the congratulatory bumper taps and side scrapes.
Yeah, and he's I think he's had some practice doing burnouts too.
Just a couple this year, I think, right? Although he's not too much of a burnout guy, if I remember. He usually just drives it down pit road.
Yeah, he's kind of a no-nonsense guy. But Webb and it looks like Soska aren't going to let him live this one down. As they bash him into the pit lane wall and turn him around, and that's good enough that's his celebration right there. And so there's our final running order. It's an official race. Session is complete. 15 cars finished on the lead lap. 23 cars took the green flag. And for some reason, Ed, you're showing 124 laps down and not out of the race. I don't know if there's some official reporting error there. But looks like the crew was stubborn and just left the car on pit road without retiring the car.
Or they were working on it the whole time. Maybe I should have been down there instead of up here.
Yeah, apparently we're hearing that the car was prepared like 70 laps ago to run some laps, but they couldn't find you.
Oh, that's probably a fine coming.
Guy Petra still blowing chunks down the start finish line. He's a showman.
Surprised that car's still running. They look like mine after the wreck.
Yeah,
on fire and everything. Yeah.
So you'll regroup, and you still have a chance. You could run the table here, Ed. But it's definitely a points hit here, and you never know what's going to happen. But
yeah, certainly make
good
the
luck
next.
to you.
Thank you. Certainly make the next several races more exciting, with top three closing down on points. So let's say the next race is Daytona, so that's certainly a wild card.
Absolutely, it's going to be a great show, and week by week we don't know for sure if we're going to broadcast, but if the ducks line up, then we'll be here and get it on.
Yeah, hopefully I'll join you in the booth, but not during the race next time.
You prefer those post-race interviews, which reminds me, I'm going to run down and see if I can get our top three finishers: Mark DeCinza, Gary Piccolo, and Ken Hansen. I'll be back.
Yeah, this has been a blast, though. Thanks for the invite up to the booth.
Oh, no problem, Ed.
You're welcome.
Always glad to have you up here, Ed, with your expertise. Uh, yeah, so it looks like the BP drivers, which were the 42 Gary Piccolo, the 25 Craig Meyer, and the 00 Scott Schroyer. They've really made an impact, Ed, on their skill. Super Speedway, they've won some races already, and been very competitive.
Yeah, certainly. I haven't had the chance to race them on the super speedways first person yet, but yeah, they're always up top at the front of the leaderboard in the other series, and seems like they're just constantly improving. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with here toward the end of the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see there are 15 cars on the lead lap. So, like you were saying, Ed, if you were on the lead lap and you made a bad decision, that can cost you 10 positions real quick.
Oh yeah, yep. Texas kind of race like a Daytona or Talladega would. You know, get out of line and get freight trained, and lose 10 spots in a lap even. So.
Milty will be gathering up our top three, and we look forward to seeing if we can get an updated standings here and see what kind of impact this race had. Not that you're interested in maybe knowing that right now, Ed, but I'm sure Webb and Ken are.
Yeah, I gotta know how big of a hole I need to dig out of the next. Well, we got 5 races left. One,
Yeah, this
2,
was
3, 5.
this was race 15, so 15 down, 5 to go.
I was moved. Tough luck, Ed. That sucks, man.
Hey, thanks, guy. Good race, man.
You guys are racing hard there, though. I couldn't really see what happened. And thank you.
Yeah, Ken, great race. Great, made a statement, Ken, grabbing the pole here. Was that something that was important to you to start this race, knowing where you sat in the points right now?
You got that right. I definitely wanted to get as far up as I could. Actually, the outside would have been a little bit better, but because you don't really get any points for getting the pole, but it always looks good on paper.
Well, you did manage to lead a few laps, so you got that bonus point, and you got the quality finish you were looking for. I'm sure this was a very satisfying race for you overall.
Yeah, car drove really good today. Definitely shout out to my teammates that were racing there, and Chad and you guys, and all you do.
Yeah, it was a great run, and we're also joined by our second and third place finishers. First, let's start with our second place finisher, the 42 car, Gary. Great run, great perseverance as well. We saw you get involved in an earlier incident there, and way to fight back. Did you have to do some repairs on pit lane, or was the car not as badly damaged as it seemed?
No, it was actually good. It wasn't damaged at all. I actually self-penalized myself because I didn't get a chance to look at it yet, and I don't know if it was me. I mean, I was really just kind of trying to cruise there, and Ed went high, and I started getting a run. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just see what I can do here, and I don't. Maybe I have a little bit of a more lazy arc going into the corners, and he has a more sharper one, but I don't know. I felt horrible if it was my fault, and so I self-penalized myself, went to the back, and finishing up there in the top 3 here now is like probably one of the most bittersweet top 3s that I've ever had, just because I felt like crap the entire race.
Well, that's great sportsmanship, and that's kind of people we want in our league. It's hard racing. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, but to own up and to follow the rules, and also to have that type of feeling, respect for your competitor, that's very important. It earns a lot of respect in this league.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think all of us would agree from actually watching it that it seemed like it was truly one of the racing deals and not really anything to put any
Uh,
fault on
that's,
either of
that's
you.
the way I
So
saw it.
we'll move on from that. It was a quality finish for you, Gary. I know that's probably a tough thing to do, is to drive so many laps with maybe that thought in your mind, but
Hmm.
you did a great job there, and you raced hard at the end. And I'm sure Mark there had a mirror full of you, so sure he was glad to
RKT.
see that, maybe that last caution there. Mark, great win, man.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was a fun race. Congrats to the 42 and a 9. They ran real good. Ken would have been right there at the end if he had a little bit better luck there at the end. But yeah, it was a fun race.
Uh,
Just find a way to find yourself in the right position at the right time. You ran a real patient race. You followed the 9 and the rest of the field. A lot of times there, you had a couple setbacks, and then when you saw your window open, you kicked up the boost there, and that was a fantastic watching. Like Ed Kerstetter was. You two always seem to battle Pro Cup along with Rick Johnson and of course the other great Pro Cup drivers, but he was like going here he comes. You gotta watch the broadcast. It was pretty cool uh, watching you turn on another gear right there and make the pass at the right time.
Yeah, it was the beginning. I was battling to finish second till Ed was out. Uh, so no, everybody ran pretty good. At one time there, I went under Ken. He was a little high, and I went under him, and there was another car there, and he started coming down a little, and I was like, oh no. But Ken stayed up out of the way a little bit. But yeah, it was pretty daring. But yeah, it was a fun race. There's a few times I had to pull out a little, and my tires got hot, so I had to cool them down for a few laps. I didn't want to let a lot of people by. I let one by, and I didn't want to let 3, 4 by, so I was trying to pick it back up a little to stay with them, but I kept heating my tires.
yeah,
Well, and that's so skillful because when you let people by, we saw throughout the race, guys up in those marbles, up where the grip is much less, and then you get up in the marbles, it's a handful. Just try to let people by, especially if within the 10 lap window of when you get fresh tires.
Yep, it was tight. Every time I heated my tires up, I tried to back off a little, but the guy behind me wanted to by, and I was trying to stay high to let him by, but not let 2 or 3 by if I was able to. So yeah, it got to be tough, but it was a good fun race.
yeah, and it was a quality win there, Mark, and the points have been updated, and it has definitely made a little shake up there at the top, Milty.
Let's take a
Webb,
look at this stuff
Webb
here.
will still be our leader, of course, and he's opened up now a 21-point lead over Ed, who's now having to deal with Ken Hansen, who's just 23 points off the lead. So Ken picking up 6 points on the leader and breathing down Ed's neck now in the second.
Well, we're talking modern points here, so every point is aside from leading laps, and most laps led are position points here. So Steve Weber had great damage control here and ran out of the top 10 for most of the race and still managed to get a solid 7th place finish, while his main competition, well, Ken Hansen definitely gained 6 points there, but Ed Kerstetter lost 14 points. So that's what, when you're on fire, that's what happens. Okay, Ed.
Yeah, and a 21-point deficit, Ed. You're gonna have your work cut out for you with 5 laps, 5 races remaining.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the wild card Daytona. So anything can happen, though. We'll
Anything
keep
can
fighting.
happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
So,
if you look at the starts too, remember that Ed is 2 starts below the top 8 drivers. So had Ed even started those races, we would be talking about Ed being in the lead. But that's sim racing life. life comes first, so sometimes you miss starts, but Ed still has a chance to win the championship with two
Absolutely.
less starts
Yeah, that's quite
than the
amazing.
rest of the field. It
That's
is.
yeah, that's very Matt Watkins, Robert Bokum, Kevin Lewis like stuff there, Milty.
Well, and we appreciate Ed's candor, and I asked him some questions about strategy and stuff, and he was honest and great analysis. Loved having you in the booth tonight, Ed. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
great
Absolutely, and
broadcast, folks. Check
thanks
this
all
thing
three of
out.
you guys for putting on a great show
Gonna have to
tonight.
wrap it up here.
And of course, Milty, as always, a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
And look to do it again soon. Look to do it again soon, Milty. Friday nights, Winston Cup, big fields. You saw the racing. It speaks for itself.
Yep, good job, guys. Yeah, and Greg.
You're natural, Milty, you're Milty.
That's it, I guess.
So check it out, fsbracing.com, and we'll see you again when we see you.